Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming on to our second episode of Finance Agents. We are now live. Again, going live is every single time it's harder than we expect it to be. Another time we're 10 minutes late. We're going to figure this out, I promise. But we're now live. I'm here today with Trey Sublette. Trey is the other founder of Finance Agents. Trey, in our company, there's only 3 people who've been around since the very early beginnings.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Today we're going to be talking about our agent program. And so that's why I had Trey on, because Trey knows the agent program better than anybody. This is literally what he does all day long. We're talking to people who are agents or are member offices that are working with agents that are using it in order to grow their company. So if we could move forward on the slides. We'd like to go ahead and get started. All right, so let's talk a little bit. The mission of our company.
Let's do it.
The mission of our company is to support a growing community of people helping entrepreneurs to get funding and do what they love. And that's what we do. That's what our member offices do. That's what our agents do.
And that's
right?
what we love, right? That's the one thing we do is I love what we do. I love helping the people. And one thing I've learned over the years is people getting funding is great, but it's the relationships we build out through our Finance Agent platform is what we really enjoy on a day-to-day basis.
Every single person we talk to is a business owner in some sense. They're either a business owner looking for funding or a business owner where they're looking to get funding for other businesses. Either way, it's exciting. I like helping people get financing and grow or get financing for other people. It's a fun process, and over the years, we can now say that through all our affiliates and partners, we have directly helped assist over $1 billion in funding for entrepreneurs and small businesses and investors all across the country.
That's B with the billion, right?
That's right. It's a big accomplishment and something we had to work a long time to attain, and so we're glad to be there. All right, our goals for the Finance Agent program that we're going to be talking about today are to recruit 100,000 agents, and we're already at about almost coming up on 20,000, so 100,000 shouldn't be that difficult. 1,000 different member offices. These are our sales offices that the finance agents work with who are targeting different micro niches or geographies across the country. And to develop 100 exclusive products. Those are lenders or service providers that work exclusively through us. And in the end, to fund over 1 million businesses. So we got some lofty goals.
Very easy goals, in my opinion. Very easy.
The recruiting 100,000 agents, that I know we can get to that. The other ones are going to be a little bit harder, but that's what we're here for, and we love it. So, all right, so let's start off by talking about, we are finance agents. Sometimes people get confused. We're finance agents, but we're talking about the Finance Agent program. So what is the Finance Agent program?
I think the Finance Agent program comes down to 2 things, Tim. And one is it allows people a platform to create a personal income stream for themselves. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it's for people who are like mortgage professionals, health insurance agencies, diversify their services to add more benefits to their clients, to separate themselves from competition.
Right. So anybody out there who interacts with businesses on a regular basis comes across business owners. We all know that all business owners can use money. Now, do we have it at the rates? Not everyone can use the money we can get them, but everybody could use the money in order to grow their business or grow their revenues. And so if you interact with small business owners, you should be an agent. You should be in our agent program. And all that means is that when you come across somebody who needs funding, you refer them to us through a number of different ways, and we help them out. That is what our agent program
right.
is.
And people can be hands-on or hands-off as much as they want. So there's no one way of working together. Is figuring out the best way and develop that out.
Right. All right, so let's go into a little bit of our background so you know where we came from. We started off in 2006, I think, is when Trey started a little
October
bit before
2006.
me. Oh, you remember that? All right. And originally, all we did was we helped local companies get financing, right? And then through that process, once we started doing it, especially for startups, we got a lot of traction. A lot of people were very interested in our services because normally, if you're a startup and you go to a bank, they're going to laugh you out the door. Right. Unfortunately, banks are not good at startups. There's a lot of things that banks are not good at. And that's just because a banker works for that one bank. We work for our clients across any lender, and we can get solutions when other people can't. Right? So that's how we started as Business Finance Store. As we grew, we had a lot of people coming to us that were interested in referring people to us for our funding services. And each one was a different negotiation or a long discussion. It ended up becoming half of our work just talking to all these people. So we launched the agent program. And it immediately took hold. So talk about how the agent program was different than what we were doing before.
We spent so much time, Tim, on negotiating cost structures of the programs, compensation, white labeling, and we spent so much time trying to develop that out. The platform really streamlined everything, made it easy for someone to refer Mr. Jones to us to develop and explore different programs. So streamlining things and providing great marketing tools to create more lead flow.
Right. So before, each person we talked to was a different negotiation. After we created a standardized system, then everybody we talked to was offered the same thing. We didn't have to convince them that they were getting a worse deal than somebody else. It cut the negotiation time to zero and allowed us to start immediately and help people get financing. So the agent program was incredibly successful from day one, and a lot of that was because we had pre-existing relationships that we put into the system and they were able to flourish under it. And so we grew. We shortened our name from Business Finance Store to Finance Store. That's
your thing.
Just like going from the Facebook to Facebook. We got smaller, and at the same point, the name got smaller, but the company got a lot bigger. Right. We were recognized by Inc. magazine 3 years in a row as being one of the 500 or 5,000 fastest growing companies in the world, in the top 200 for 2 of those 3 years, over 2,000% growth for a couple of those years. And it's all because of this system that we created in order to start getting in referrals from, tens of thousands of people. Moving on. And as we grew, the agent program grew. And at a certain point, Trey and I realized the agent program that we have is bigger than one company.
Right.
It shouldn't be supporting just a finance store. It can work in a lot of different verticals. And so Trey and I left Finance Store, took the finance agent program, and now it's available to support. Currently, we have about 45 offices, something like that, and they're growing all the time. We're supporting different sales offices instead of restricting ourselves to just one. All right, why don't you explain the current structure a little bit?
Sure. So basically, some people want to be hands-on, so you can be a standard agent and just refer the individual, and we have the funding specialists to go over the program and figure out the right solution. We have recruiters, which we'll go here in a minute, but that's for people who want to network and recruit more agents. But our member office concept is for people who want to be hands-on, be trained in a certain fashion, be certified in all the different types of funding programs, and use finance agents to fuel the growth of their own brand.
Okay, right. So the structure that we have here is we have over 250 lenders or service providers we work with. That's what you see on the left side of the screen. We've sort of condensed those into 6 primary funding categories that we work with on a regular basis. And that's real estate, lines of credit, working capital, a lot of different ones there. So that's one side. That's the side that we manage directly. On the other side, you have our member offices, which are our sales offices, and they get their leads from agents, and they get their agents through recruiters. So that's what you see the different levels there. And right in the middle is us kind of working the system, helping. We're trying to give big bank tools to individual agents and our sales offices, and at the same point, bring all the different types of funding through to the people who need it. All right, so if you're not an agent yet, if you're on here and you haven't heard of finance agents or you're new to the program, you literally go sign up right now. Go to financeagents.com, you hop over while you're watching this and go sign up. There's really no reason not to. It's a free sign up, and all you're saying is that if you come across a business owner who might need funding, you're going to give the information to us, and we or one of our member offices will talk to that client, figure out what their needs are, and find the absolute best financing possible for them and give that to them.
How fast is this process, Tim?
Well, the sign up takes
instantly
30 seconds maybe to go through the whole
thing.
thing.
It's so easy to sign up, and you instantly get access to your agent account. So you're off and running just by taking a couple minutes to do these simple steps.
Right. So just go in, email your first name. You give us your first name, last name, email, phone. Click submit, or you can go directly to financeagents.com/agents if you have trouble with the little box in the corner. You just sign up. So easy steps. After the first page, you're going to go through and give us some more information so that, and this is what I was getting to before, when you send to somebody and they get funding, we get revenue from that, and then we share that with you. And generally, you're going to get a rev share on any dollar that comes through here. So that's the sign up page. Just create a password.
Pretty simple.
And go from there.
And please fill out your questionnaire. I want to learn more about you. That will help best sculpt the best way to work together. So fill out your questionnaire.
On the profile page, when you scroll down at the bottom, there are questions, and it tells us a little bit about you, so we know who we're working with when we give you a call. All right, so let's talk about the current market. What are you seeing in lending right now? What are the changes that have happened over the last year?
Lending's tough, and as long as we've been doing this, one thing I've learned is business owners will always need help, right? No matter the economy, they're always going to need some sort of support in either growing or starting a new business. As far as lending, it's tight, and we're talking people all day long who specialize in maybe one program, but they don't have the diverse portfolio we have here at Finance Agents. So at the end of the day, you need to know what their needs are and try to provide the best possible solution for the individual. So it's tough out there, Tim.
Well, it's tough for business owners who
Right.
don't know how to get funding, and that's the people that we're working with. One of the interesting things is when the economy goes up, when the economy goes down, I for a long time thought that if things get too good, maybe we'll have fewer clients, or if things get too bad, we'll have fewer clients. We always have the same amount of people. They're just
Right.
sometimes better, sometimes worse. There's always a big chunk of people that are just not served by going to the bank. Again, the bank's looking out for their own interest. We're looking out for the client's interest. So over the years, we've developed expertise across those 6 different funding categories we talked about. Because of that, we can help out just about anybody in just about any situation. Anything from the premium top level ones like healthcare and dentists and veterinarians, which are some of the easier ones to finance, all the way down to freelancers, people that work from home, real estate agents, plumbers. We do a ton of franchises. Here's some of the franchises that we financed over the years, but this is just a small segment because we've done
Right, and some of these
thousands of
franchises use us as a funding resource for their potential concept buyers. So examples like State Farm, Massage Envy, Edible Arrangements, they refer people to finance agents to explore like SBA, equipment finance, and so on to be able to get into their concept.
All right, so here's an example of a happy client. We helped Billy and Kate open up an Orange Theory, and they're very excited about it. And this is a lot of our clients. They come to us, they've been working a job for I don't know how many years, they're ready to be done, they're ready to transition out, and a franchise is a great way to do it. Often they have retirement savings they can use to finance the business, and it's fun going to their grand openings. I love it, and they're always excited to do so, and I just love watching people succeed once they get the funding. Muhammad Alim, Papa John's owner, he went from being an engineer to opening a Papa John's franchise right in Hollywood.
Mhm.
So,
It's a great location.
Great location, super busy from day one. And there's a lot to be said for some of the big franchises. You know they're very likely to succeed. Anthony Tran and his partners, we helped them open up a number of different Massage Envies and then become the regional developer for Amazing Lash, which means they had the ability to develop out 12 different Amazing Lashes. I think they sold some and developed some, but they're another big success story. And this is a picture from their grand opening as well. All right, so let's go over some examples of agents that we worked with so you guys get an idea what it means to be a finance agent with us. Again, you could be super active or you could be very passive. You could be an online marketer or you could be a cold caller. You could be just about anything. So what are some of the examples we had?
As far as examples, we'll start off with Ed Matt. So Ed Matt were our first super affiliate back in the day, and this is what our member offices is structured from. So they were doing a good, how many deals a month? How would you say?
Consistently 30 to 50 deals a month. They were our first official member office, and this is the structure that we use in order to ramp out the other 45 member offices we have now. And 7-figure verified,
Right.
way over that, but I won't say exactly how much. Well in excess of $1 million. They were making over $1 million per year for multiple years. So, Ron Lancaster.
Ron Lancaster is a master of all trades. He's an attorney, has a economics background. So he has great, amazing skill sets of networking. So he has referred a ton of agents, like you can see, 259 agents in the system, just by him using his marketing tools to promote the Finance Agent platform.
Right. So they're both examples of people that are doing finance on a full-time basis. Jason Edwards, here's another example. He only brought in 28 agents, but from those 28 agents, over 5,000 leads.
Right.
So you see that you don't have to recruit a ton of agents. If you're a relationship person like Jason, you can bring in a few people and get a lot of benefit out of that.
All right, well, Verlin Colbert. Verlin is, I think, in the real estate arena, so has done an amazing job using the marketing tools to create an insane amount of leads. I think that's over the last 6 years.
That's a typo there, by the way. It's
Okay.
2,090 leads, not that was Jason's.
Okay, there you go.
We got to fix that
There you
sooner or later. Either way, it's still a success.
Right.
So it's a lot of leads. Jose Whitner, that's somebody that you work
Jose?
with. It's actually, we're still working with him, of
Yeah,
course.
still work with him. He's in real estate and a direct lender as well. So Jose loves the agent platform because he has a network of people he wants to refer into the system and agents. So he is an actual recruiter at this point in time and earning commissions off other people's production.
Right. And Alex Mompoint, he's a doctor, right?
Great.
Right? Yeah, so he was able to recruit 37 agents in 1 month. So, when you put your mind to it and if you have the right network, you can bring in a lot of people very quickly. All right, so let's touch on the funding programs that we had. Like I mentioned, there are 6 different categories. We're not going to go over this in a lot of detail. We're going to skim through them. We're going to be doing individual shows on every single funding program. So if anyone you're interested in, we're going to go into a lot more detail later. But what's the first funding program we have?
Commercial real estate. This is our newest program. We launched this last year. Loans up to $10 million. We became a direct lender this year, right?
That's right.
So it's one of those things where when we're talking to someone, it's based off equity, either an investment property or commercial property. It works nationwide. Some states are better than other states, like California, Arizona, Florida. But it's an amazing option for some people when they don't have great credit, because credit is not a factor in qualifying.
Right. We don't do residential mortgages. We're doing investor mortgages or commercial real estate. So nothing owner occupied, but you can do residential if it's an investment property. All right. After that, we have credit lines. We've done more credit lines than just about anything else. It's great for startups. You can get your funding in 2 or 3 weeks. And typically somebody's going to get from 50 to 100 grand, maybe up to 150. And it's working capital. Use it for whatever you want. Lines of credit you can use for the next 30 years. So it's a very popular program.
Okay, well, SBA loans. So we do have our business term loan division. It works with SBAs, lines of credit, term loans, but basically we're exploring people who are looking for higher dollar amounts, $250,000 and above. You're getting the best rates, the best terms. So like we were mentioning before, we work with a lot of different franchises, and some franchises have that price tag that's up there, and this is the program we explore to make it happen.
That's right. Cheapest rates possible, as low as 7%. It was 7% right now. It could go down if the interest rate drops again, but it's a great program. Everybody loves it. RBA loans, which you wouldn't necessarily know the term if you didn't work with us. That's our own term. This is working capital loans, generally short-term loans, maybe 6 months to a year, and they're often daily payments. And while some people might find that weird, because they're daily payments, we're able to get funding for people that would never qualify for a term loan. So the rates are going to be a little bit higher, but people qualify. If you are an existing business and you have monthly income, generally you can get a loan equal to about 1 month's revenue. Then you're going to pay it back quickly. It's great for inventory or things that you just can't
Payroll,
finance through a bank.
marketing, advertising. If you have a deadline coming up pretty quickly, this is the program. It's fast.
You can fund in as little as 2 days. While I won't promise it'll happen that quickly, we have had it happen before where it's funded in just 2 days. Equipment finance. Equipment finance is one of the most complicated things
It's
we
my
have.
favorite.
Because there's so many different. We're in with 32 different lenders, and you might have one lender that'll do long haul trucks in the southeast, but not short haul, and somebody else is the opposite. Very complicated. So it's taken us a long time to develop expertise in equipment finance. The thing that I love about it best is if you submit somebody to us, if they qualify for something, often they're going to get equipment finance with it. It's the best add-on program, and what it does is just increases your referral commissions for anybody that you send to us.
Okay, well, we have our 401k rover program. We call it our business directed retirement account program. This is probably the best way to start your business.
Right.
You're basically leveraging your assets, your 401k or IRA, in investing in yourself. So have any bank involvement, credit checks, you're in complete control of this procedure and with your business funding. So I like it. It takes only about 2 or 3 weeks. And at the end of the day, the person needs to only have at least $50,000 in a 401k or IRA from a previous employer. So this is more of a educate and execute type of program because most people just don't know about it as an option for their funding needs.
That's right. Quick, painless, and cheap. You start a business with no loans, and you don't have to answer to an investor because you're investing in yourself. It's a great program. And then startup financing. That's not a program. We have 5 different ways we can finance startups. So we do real estate loans, we can do a 401k rollover, we can do credit lines, we can do equipment finance, and we can get term loans. So this is one of the ways that we're different from just about anybody else. Is that I don't know of anybody in the market who is as experienced in financing startups across all the different types of categories and industries. Probably the one I'm seeing more of now that's new that we haven't seen in the past is cannabis. So we can finance cannabis industry if you're in the right state. Just about anything, give us the right situation, and we can get financing for you, which again is the opposite of what the bank is going to say.
Probably the number one question I get on a daily basis as far as can you help startups?
Right?
The answer is yes.
Because most groups say no. So, all right. So, what are the commissions? If you're working with us, then you're in it to help people, but you're also in it to get paid, and that's the best kind of a system, if you ask me. So, you're gonna have to. If you don't know the initials yet, I apologize, but you get 0.5% of funding on a real estate loan, and since our average loan is $500,000, that's $2,500. That's a pretty decent commission. 10% of gross revenue generated by the company on BTL, which is a term loan. That would be an SBA loan, or we have alternative lenders that do term loans, and that ends up being about the same. 10% of revenue on UBF, which is the credit card program, where we get people business credit cards, great for startups, good for working capital. You get 1% of funding on equipment and the working capital, short-term working capital loans that we talked about. So in either one of those situations, you get $100,000 in funding, you get a $1,000 referral commission, and a $500 flat referral fee on the retirement rollover program. So it's pretty solid commission. Some of the best in the market.
And all you have to do at the beginning is refer the lead. We'll do all the hard work. We'll do the consultation, but just refer the lead in the system, and we'll take it from there. Secondly, if you come on board as an agent, we'll have this in our training manual, so you don't have to rely on this one show. We have this broken down with all the different commissions for each program in our finance agent training manual.
Right. So if you take an example, if you submitted enough leads to create 30 fundings, and they evenly broke out between the different funding categories, you did 5 per each, that is what you'd be making in general across the different programs. So between 30 deals, put it all together, that's $75,000 in referral commissions. So like I said before, as a side project, you can make a lot of money. Or if, for example, and this is a lot of the people we work with, let's say you're an equipment finance person. All day long, you're talking to people about equipment finance. Well, you're going to get questions for all sorts of other things. You refer those to us, we take care of the funding for you and get paid. Or we have people that specialize in a product that are making as much money on the other products referring to us as they are on their primary product line. So if you're in the industry, you can double your revenue by referring everything that you can't do to us. And frankly, you don't want to take the 5 years that it's going to take for you to be perfect in everything.
Right.
Send it to one of our member offices that's been doing it for a long time.
At the same time, still be hyper-focused on your main objective with your clients.
Right. All right, so it's an easy free sign up. There's no reason you shouldn't be in. Again, if you haven't signed up and you're new on this, go sign up right now. It takes a second. Once you're in, you have 24/7 online access in order to marketing tools. You'll be able to see your leads. You can watch trainings. You can download marketing materials, and there's a lot of different ways that you can work with it. So it's all in the portal, right? Here's some screenshots. There's one page, a programs page, where it goes through the different programs and shows you what they are. There's a page where you can interact directly with the person you're going to be working with, set goals, set milestones, understand the best marketing tactics we've seen work the best. You can manually input leads. So a lot of different stuff available online. Plus we do training webinars, kind of like this. You're going to be seeing a lot of these. We used to do them private, and now they're going to be all live and online on YouTube right here on our show. So
I'm on.
you'll get notifications in advance, kind of like you did for this one. If you didn't get a notification, then go sign up. Either subscribe on YouTube or fill out a form on one of our landing pages, and that'll get you into our email newsletter where you get notifications anytime something's coming out. Here are some of the trainings we did in the different funding programs. We'll be doing all of those over the next couple months. Those would be our core trainings that will be available forever. There's 4 ways to create a lead. So we're going to zip through this real quick just so you understand. Once you're an agent, first way is just go to the input lead page, type in the information. If you got a credit report or something, just put it in there, click submit, and you're done, right? Then somebody else will take over. Or you can send out your marketing link. The marketing link is right there on your dashboard. It's going to have a URL with some numbers at the end. The numbers are your unique code, so make sure to get those on there. And when somebody goes to it, they'll go to a page where they fill in their information. Boom, they're in the system, and you're done. Third way to create a lead is email it to us. Email something to lead@24houраpprovals.com. Or if you have an application for one of our programs or documentation, you can send it directly to the program that's denoted by the letters. And again, in the training manual, you'll learn all the letters, but RBA24approvals.com gets you to the working capital division, which out of all of these is the most time sensitive.
Straight to an underwriter, right, Tim? Straight to an underwriter, get it reviewed. Speeds up the process tremendously by taking option number 3.
And generally, your clients want to know what's going on as quick as possible. That's the best way to do that. And then the last but not least, you just pick up the phone. Right on the top of your dashboard is going to be a name, phone number, email, fax number. Get in touch with us any way that works for you, and we'll make sure that person gets into the system and gets helped. All right, so we have a few testimonials from some of the agents we've worked with. Bruce Bleckman, the author of Guerrilla Financing. He is the owner of one of our member offices, Entrepreneur Capital Corp. He's a great person to work with, and we really appreciate his endorsement. Some of the other ones, Marco Carbajo.
Marco here, he is someone who is very proficient in content, SBA.gov, and putting content out there to help business owners nationwide. He's been with us for quite some time now.
Yeah, he's been writing a business credit blog for years, and we've worked together for 6-7 years now, right? Kevin Clark from Hard Money Central. He's an example of somebody who's really strong in one funding category. That would be CRE, or the commercial real estate, or the private money loans. And we help them get funding on all the different things they don't qualify for. So maybe somebody doesn't have real estate, but they need funding. They can come to us, and we can help get them financing. Anthony Morgan.
We have Anthony Morgan, our main man in Hawaii. So Anthony Morgan has the amazing energy, and he's meeting and developing relationships all the time. He has other things he works with outside of finance agents, but he's incorporating the different funding programs, the agent platform, and I think the agent platform is a great way of having all his people connected in the best way.
His office must be getting up at 3 a.m. because
Right.
he's working with
He's up early.
East Coast people, and I'm impressed. So, all right, so that's it for we have a little bit of more stuff we're going to go over, like the question of the day. We'll go over last week's question of the day. But again, if you haven't signed up, go sign up. Why not? Get in, join the conversation. We look forward to working with you and talking to you, and hopefully making a lot of money and doing a lot of deals together. All right, so let's look on. We're going to be doing a question of the day every time we do a call. Last week's question of the day is, what's the biggest change you've seen in lending in the last 12 months? And I picked out some of the questions that I thought were the best from YouTube. And when we ask the question of the day, just right there on YouTube, you can scroll down and answer the questions. You can go to the next slide. So Robert McCormick, and by the way, when you see his name, I don't think I'm related to him, but his name's spelled the same. So anyway, Robert said in the last year, the biggest change, he said, is overly aggressive MCA programs. And by MCA, he's talking about what we call RBA. Mm-hmm. That's Revenue-Based Advance, or MCA stands for Merchant Cash Advance. And what he means is a lot of business owners are now getting calls, sometimes every day of the week, from lenders offering them financing. And that is really different than, say, 2 or 3 years ago,
right,
when these people had no idea where to go to get funding. This is fueled by the really large commissions in the working capital industry. Is creating a lot of churn. Now, we're actually seeing that start to dip down a bit. It got really overdeveloped about a year ago, and now we're in decline. Some of the biggest lenders in the industry are actually starting to go under, or they're cutting commissions. So I think you're going to see that industry right-size itself a little bit. All right, Middleton said the biggest change he's noticed is the number of foreign lenders, many of whom are scammers. Now, I actually haven't seen a lot of this. We used to see a ton of this. During the economic downturn, we saw lots of scams. That was the biggest surprise I had when I first got into the industry.
Right. I would say this. I'm not too familiar with, because I don't really, if I see something that's international, don't really pay too much attention to it.
You just ignore it.
I guarantee you, I got an email last night of someone looking for $25,000 for the gold mine in Nigeria.
Just 25,000?
Yeah, just that.
Not 25 million?
So,
that's a cheap one.
So at the end of the day, our programs are more specialized of helping U.S. business owners. Can't really help individuals in Brazil or Mexico. But yeah, there's a lot of things out there.
Right. I think a little bit of what he was referring to is we have clients who they're getting approached by private investors in London that really want to lend money, right, and you end up losing money almost always. We had one client who did a retirement rollover and literally went to Nigeria and bought $300,000 worth of gold and got ripped off and is lucky to be alive. So you're right, there's scams out there, and frankly, I'm a little disappointed. I don't know why our government isn't better at shutting the stuff down, but we do see it, right?
Right.
We just have gotten to the point where we ignore it because we.
And this is not really to this question. It's kind of, but for years we've learned that we're doing everything with no application fees with all our programs, and we're talking to people on a minute by minute basis, going over their scenario and giving them free information. So we try to make it as easy as possible, little barriers as possible to help them get to the funding stage.
Right. Okay, and then the last one we're going to bring up is Travis stated that the biggest change he's seen is the number of finance companies open up. And I would say this was really true last year and the year before. I've actually seen it, again, slow down a little bit this year, which is counterintuitive because the market has been growing now for years. It's a good economy, but the big players are starting to solidify their positions. It's a little bit harder for the new guy to start up unless you come in with a system like we have, where it gives you an immediate competitive advantage, allows you to compete with that technology and the programs that the big guys have. Even the big guys are bad at having the range of programs that we have. So it's an immediate advantage that any of our member offices have, and that you immediately get by working with us. Anybody that's referred to us, we review them across a wider range of programs and lenders than anybody anywhere, as far as I know, literally.
And
anybody.
I would say, I guarantee there are some finance companies out there that have spawned off from us, who've learned our process and procedures, and they've done it.
Quite a few, no doubt about that. All right, so that brings us to the question of the day for today, something we're actually looking into right now so we can get some good, solid information to you. But if you're in the industry already, I'd like to hear your comments on how will the hurricane impact lending inside the affected areas. And I believe it's going to be different per funding program and per industry and where you are. But that's the question of the day. Right there, scroll down and answer. How will the hurricane, which is devastating right now, and our hearts go out to the people that are in the affected areas. It's very bad. We've had impact from it ourselves. So we have some real estate loans that couldn't fund because they're in Southeast Texas. We have deals that we were trying to sell off our loans. We have member offices that are in the affected areas. So everybody be safe. But after this, you're going to have, this is going to be a long-term recovery. We're talking 3, 5, maybe 10 years recovery. We're still seeing recovery from Katrina, and it's been 10 years already. So we have a short-term catastrophe, really. But afterwards, how do we help people, and what is the impact on the different funding programs? Some of the programs may not be available for a long time. Some of them might be drastically needed immediately, and they'll be available. We're seeing some things already where I've seen some lenders that have suspended payments for their customers in order to help them through this time. You can see a lot of other stuff. So I'm really interested to hear what you think is the impact of the hurricane on lending in the affected areas. So last but not least, please join the conversation. You're on our YouTube channel already. If you ever forget, just go to youtube.com/financeagents. I would request that you subscribe, click the little subscribe button. That way you get notifications whenever we do a live cast. For a little while, we're going to be doing them weekly, and we're hoping to ramp them up and put a lot more content out there. Anything that you want to know about the industry, let us know, email us, give us a call. We'd be happy to hear from you, and we'll put you on the show. If you know something, if you're real good at some particular industry, we'd be happy to interview. We're going to be doing a lot of interviews as well. So join the conversation, give us a call, sign up as an agent, subscribe. What else can I tell you to do?
Yeah.
lots of instructions here.
So.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, Trey, for coming on.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for giving us your time, and we look forward to doing a lot more deals together.